Well, hello everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you spent some time with your mother yesterday, maybe even worshiping in church with her. A great day yesterday in the house of God. We got to celebrate our oldest mother in the church yesterday, Aunt Mabel Kane, 95 years old, and been faithful to God for so many years, not just in talk either. I mean, that lady has done it. What a precious day yesterday we had, being able to honor her. Proverbs 31:31 says that we ought to honor those kind of women publicly, and we did that yesterday. It was just a great day. We got to dedicate my grandbaby yesterday on Mother's Day, and then honor all of our other mothers. It was just a great day yesterday, today. Well, it's Monday. It's time to begin Take 5, a brand new week. This week, we're going to be breaking down the message that I started preaching yesterday. I didn't preach a Mother's Day message. I just didn't feel led of the Lord to do that this year. So we're going to be breaking down that message. That message was entitled, Through Faith and Patience. If you were here yesterday, you remember that we talked more about the through part, the process, the going through part, than we did faith and patience. We'll get to that other in time, but I think it's necessary that we grasp this part that God's speaking to us as well. Now, the writer of Hebrews, we read our text from Hebrews 6, and the writer there speaks to the readers about the dangers of apostasy and turning back on God and not finishing the course that you've started. He encourages those readers there to keep pressing forward no matter the cost, and he promises that God will not forget their labor of love in serving Him, and in due time He will reward them if they will just simply endure to the end. And I think that's what we have the most trouble with in the church. Maybe just people in general. I don't know. We struggle with this concept of enduring, holding fast, staying with something. Endurance and stability, it's two different things, but they're first cousins. I'm telling you, it's close when you begin to talk about that. And people struggle with enduring to the end. Now, if you remember 2 weeks ago on Take 5, we did a series of devotions called Changing Seasons. In that, we discovered that Ecclesiastes 3 lists for us 14 pairs of opposing seasons that are listed there to try to give us a picture of every conceivable experience in life. When you look at 14 pairs of opposing seasons there, you look at it, some of them's good, well, half of it's good, we know that, and the other half is bad. It's not necessarily what we want to experience. A time to dance, and then a time to weep. A time to plant, and then a time to sow. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to speak, and a time not to speak. A time to love, a time to hate. A time of war, a time of peace. Those constant changing seasons in life, when you look at those, it lets us know that our life is going to be this one big continual abrupt change that happens over and over and over again in our life and in our environment. And most of the time these things happen without any apparent reason at all. And we learned some things about those seasons. We learned that, number one, that we can't control them. We learned that they're beyond our understanding. We learned that they're good and bad in these seasons. We learned that God has a purpose for them. And we learned also that the only way to get the good out of the season is that we must endure. Galatians 6:9, we learned, says that we should not give up doing good, for in due season, at the right time, at God's moment, we will reap if we don't give up. So we've got to endure. We've got to keep focusing. Last week, we discussed the subject, hope to the end. And when you begin to talk about hope to the end, we learned our focus has got to be on where we're going and not on the journey. Not on what's in the hallway, not on the things that we're experiencing now, but we're focusing on the end, the promise of God. So once you consider that seasons in life are necessary and that our hope should be in the end and not on the journey, then you got to figure out how to get there. Well, that's what our text tells us. Hebrews 6:12 says, do not become sluggish, but imitate those who through faith and patience inherit the promise. So that through is what I want to focus on this week. We'll get to the faith and patience, but through, it depicts the process that we're going through. There's always a process with God. Sometimes there are things that God does immediately. Sometimes God answers by the time you say amen. Sometimes God moves quickly, but more times than none, there is a process that we have to go through, and the word through represents that. So how do I get through all of the changing seasons of life? How do I hope to the end? Hebrews tells us through. It's the process that we go through, and it takes faith and patience to do this. So when you think of it in this respect, we come to a point to where I'm not so sure that I like this idea of through. But God works everything out in a process. And you'll learn as you hang out with me this week, there are just things in life that we're going to have to go through. And our focus has got to stay on the end. Our focus has got to stay on our expected season that is to come. And the only way to get there is just go through it, baby. The old football coaches used to tell us, pin your ears back, put your head down, and just drive through. And that's what we've got to do. Through faith and patience, we inherit the promise. Well, it's going to be a good week. I'm looking forward to sharing this all with you. This week I got 4 things I want to talk to you about. It's going to be real good. Come back and see me here every day. I look forward to being with you right here tomorrow on Tuesday's edition of Take 5. Until then, God bless you. Have a great day.